I think by now everybody knows who James Gunn is, so he doesn't really need an introduction, but of course if you need a quick one, he directed Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 and 2, was fired, then rehired. He was also hired by Warner Brothers to make Suicide Squad, or The Suicide Squad, aka Suicide Squad 2. Now he talks about the rivalry between Marvel and DC. So if you guys would like to get the full thing, it is in the description down below, but it's not really a lot to go by. He was just asked about, the rivalry between the two companies, and he kind of says it how it is, honestly, that there really isn't one. Nobody at Marvel hates DC, and nobody at DC hates Marvel. And, I think this is 100% correct, and obviously he says, they kind of help each other out. It's kind of like they're really kind of the same thing, right? They sell comics, and then there's other divisions of them that produce TV, movies, and everything, and nobody hates each other, and I think he's correct. I've seen some backlash on this, people being like, well, this guy hates this guy, or that guy's talked bad about that guy. Look, everybody's talked bad about Rob Liefeld. Like, what do you want me to tell you, right? It's Rob Liefeld, so that is, right? There's always people within everywhere that you don't get along with, or maybe you don't agree with. But that doesn't define an entire company, right? And I think that's what he's trying to say. Like, Kevin Feige doesn't hate Jeff Johns. Jeff Johns doesn't hate Kevin Feige. The two have, done interviews together and sat together and talked about their love for Superman. Again, that's important. That's kind of what it is. I think this rivalry, which the two have, which obviously is that they're owned by different mega corporations, is something that's out there because you have to perceive it because it's one or the other, right? Which one did you grow up with? And that kind of defines which one you like more, generally. I don't know anybody that's like, well, I like both equally. That just doesn't happen because chances are you like more elements of one over the other. Like, for example, me, I tend to love the more godlike characters of DC way more than what Marvel has done. Same with the cosmic characters in DC. But when it comes to Marvel, I like the more grounded characters way more, like the Punisher and Daredevil, right? So everybody has a preference, and I think that's how it is when it comes to pretty much everything within both companies. And the rivalry is just something that doesn't really exist. And as he says in other interviews as well, which you guys can look up, just James Gunn talked about Marvel versus DC, when one wins, everybody wins. And the whole rivalry is because, yes, they're in the same genre, they're putting out the same type of content, right? But in the end, it's all about just kind of delivering the best thing to the fans of the genre. And honestly, if you're one of the people that just chooses one over the other and tries not to enjoy both, then you're missing out on 50%. And I'm only saying Marvel and DC 50%. I don't want to go into some of the other comic companies, which I think are far superior, but that is a thing, and, it's perception of it, but overall, I think he's 100% right. There's really nobody that hates the other one, unless you're just crazy fans, because whatever.